What defines a strong female character? What women will stand the test of time in literature? There are strong women who transcend generational lines and inspire us all to seek our hopes and our dreams. What women inspire me? The ones that know their destiny and they seek it and they never quit, even in the case of insurmountable odds. Some act with unspoken courage. Some are at the forefront of conflict and turmoil. These are my top 5 current picks for women who own their story. Tell me what you think, and tell me what women you think reign fiction, contemporary or classic. There are certain figures in history who answer the call to service when their people are at their greatest need. These are the Winston Churchills and the Abraham Lincolns of their generation. In Meina GladStone, from Dan Simmons' The Fall of Hyperion, is described exactly as such. She is fearless, calculating, decisive, a born leader whose decisions will ultimately decide the fate of humanity. She won't second-guess her decisions. This scene that sold me, when all the military veterans and the human politicians are in one room and we find out war has come to our front doorstep. She acts decisively. She acts immediately. She will not tolerate any dissension, any squabbling. She says, we will make a first strike. We will make a stand. We will not go down without fighting. She was the only calm and collect one in that room, and it was a testament to her character and the knowing that if we do not act, this is the end. Again, she was an extraordinary leader with a singular mind, and she knew the high cost of survival. Her actions were believable, pragmatic, and necessary. With a huge ensemble cast, she really stood out in this book. What trait did I admire most about her? Her decisiveness. She was in it to win it for the human race. Wizards, warlocks, witches, and other magical creatures might not be your thing, but this next character is from Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series, which was finished by Bryan Sanderson. The character of Moraine was introduced in Book 1, The Eye of the World, and she was the protagonist that actually set the journey in motion. Moraine is powerful, self-possessed with confidence, brave beyond all measure, and she'll fly into the jaws of death itself. Okay, that last one was a cliche. But she will. She really will. Moraine does things on this journey that are both shocking and unbelievable. Shocking because she doesn't bend at all. Good versus evil. There's no middle ground. And even if the good guys are about to fall into the hands of the bad guys, well, she's not going to let that happen. Let's just say that. Moraine is part of a powerful order of women that keep darkness from taking over the world, and who try and seek out the one who can make the world whole again. Moraine must keep this group together and make sure internal doubt and fear don't destroy them, as well as the evil things in the night that are after them. The scene that sold me? Oh man, she just whoops up on the Trollocs. Seriously. She doesn't have unlimited power, but I mean, we're talking, it's the full 9 yards. Totally cool. She is self-possessed with this confidence that allows her to think on her toes, to never waver from her mission, and when all things go to pot, she actually pulls through. It's her. This story would have ended without her. Lisbeth Salander, aka the girl with the dragon tattoo. She lives in an unforgiving world where the weak are lost in the system and are abused by the people who are supposed to protect them. I'm talking about our world. Our society. This is contemporary fiction about a woman who must fight on her own with no one else's help to not only survive, but to prevent from being snuffed out. Salander is a woman who won't let the world tear her down. She must take what she's been given, and she must use it to fight the system and to fight those that would hurt her. But she's not a victim by a long shot. She's intelligent, cunning, uncompromising, unconcerned with any social conventions, and she's extraordinarily self-reliant, only asking that she be left alone in peace. And that's exactly the one thing that the world won't do. These stories are unflinching and not for the faint of heart. Lisbeth Salander, she uses her talents to her advantage, and if anyone hurts her, she hurts them 10 times over. The scene that sold me? Where she did that thing to that guy. I mean, he really had it coming. You know what I'm talking about. And the character trait that I admire most in her? Self-reliance. She is 10 times over ready for the zombie apocalypse. And she doesn't need anybody's help. Thank you very much. Nerves of steel. Unyielding. A survivor. A symbol for revolt against a society that's on the brink of losing its own humanity. Katniss Everdeen is the hero of Susan Collins' The Hunger Games trilogy. Katniss is put into a conflict that she never wanted. She survives, and she keeps her family surviving in a world with a totalitarian regime that will break you under its boot without a second thought. I went through a whole range of emotions as Katniss went through what could possibly be the last few days of her life. The premise of the story, of course, is how the Capitol basically chooses children to fight in a death match so that the districts won't revolt. Katniss is able to adapt and survive and finds the strength to keep going. The decision she makes at the end of the book that sets the events in the rest of the trilogy in motion is a testament to her character. And the scene that sold me? Rue. The scene with Rue. The other scene that I can actually talk about is when Katniss takes Haymitch's advice and shows the audience her softer side so she can get sponsors. That's right. The popular kids in the deathmatch can get sponsors and therefore get supplies to help them possibly win. It is the ultimate moral corruption of consumerism and shows the decay of this society. These people are sponsoring kids to fight in a deathmatch, and there's a ton of them watching on television. Bunch of losers. What do I admire about Katniss the most? Well, of course, her nerves of steel. I mean, this girl, she's got however many projectiles aimed at her at any one time. She's got the popular kids trying to track her down in a tree. There's a lot going on here. Great story. George R.R. Martin has crafted with his series The Song of Ice and Fire an epic fantasy story that has captured the imaginations of a generation. There are many strong women that dominate this story. There are matriarchs who must hold together their families in times of war. There are women who are displaced and who must find a new home, women who must fight through brutal realities. Out of all the women and all the trials they go through in this epic tale, I think Arya Stark's story is one of the most profound. Her family embodies what is noble, what is moral, what is honorable in an age where everyone is grabbing for the throne. And she will hunt down those who have wronged her and her family. The kid prays every night the individual names of the people that she's going to get. The scene that did it for me, it's when she is on the run and she has to protect herself and her friends at all cost. She makes an escape from a castle, and she does something that will forever take away her childhood and force her to recognize the brutalities of this world. What I admire most about Arya is her stubbornness. She's uncompromising and she's honorable like her family, like her father taught her to be. So we'll see what happens to Arya Stark, maybe in the next decade if they finish the series. So that's it, my top 5 female protagonists. I'd like to know what you thought, but more importantly, I want to know what other female characters are defining any genre in book reading today, or what classics might be out there with women that stand the test of time. Send us some comments or likes, and if you like what you see, subscribe, and you'll hear from us regularly. We'll see you next time.